lines. Be creative and shit, and so dumb.
So stupid.
So fucking dumb. Welcome back to another episode of Going For It. This will be our only episode this week. Everyone is tired, so
everyone who writes into the show is clamoring, give us less.
Yeah,
give us less.
We've had a raucous Reddit thread where everyone is just like, hey, can you not do as much as you're currently doing?
Yeah.
All the people on those threads are all of our wives. So they're like,
Yeah.
hey, stop it.
My wife's like, do you want to watch another episode of The Fall of the House of Usher? I'm like, well, I'm going to go to this football podcast, but also football's on. So we would be watching that instead. So
yeah.
No,
like,
I do not.
But do you want to? And you're like, no, I don't want to. I'm going to watch my phone. Thank you. Yeah, my daughter takes control of the TV most Sundays, and it's just very frustrating. Like,
we've gotten my daughter to the point where she will, if she knows that her options are football or no TV, she will ask for football. So
smart man. Yeah.
So we only have to listen to like 30 minutes of, but I want Blippi. I want Blippi.
Yeah, we're still too early for that. She's only going to be 2 in February, so like we don't have that. We're not at that point yet, but yeah,
it's coming.
Oh, dude, it's already happening.
Blippi comes for everybody.
There are temper tantrums. She just screams now for no reason. She's just like decides that she's going to scream, and it happens, and I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah,
this is actually terrible.
Yeah. The thing that I was surprised about, I was expecting the terrible twos. I was not expecting them to start at 18 months.
Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at, where I'm like, you're a nightmare. Yeah. I have been kicked in my nethers so many times.
Like, yeah, she is definitely doing her best to protect the will.
She's like, I'm going to just kick you as many times as I can in the downstairs in hopes that I am solo.
It's like a speed bag.
Yeah, for her, it definitely is. It definitely is. Even like accidentally, even like she's like just kind of like bopping around on the floor and I'm sitting down and she like runs and lunges at me. She takes like that half a step extra and I'm just like, oh, and it's terrible. It's just the worst. Yeah. And my wife just always looks at me and she's like, she wants to be an only child so bad. And I was like, yeah, she does. She definitely does. Anyway, enough about our children. We are recording this on Thursday night, so there is a football game happening right now, and it is significantly closer than I think either one of us would have thought, and apparently even closer than most of the people on Yahoo might have thought, because 96.96% of people picked the Bills in this game. I am in that percentage. Mm-hmm. Just the Bucks, not great. Not the worst, but not great.
No, their defense, I watched a little bit of the game before coming in. Their defense is that like bend, don't break mentality, although they've broken a couple times already in this game. But Buffalo is definitely not playing well. They are playing like it's a Thursday night game.
Yeah, it seems very like the little drive that I've had on my phone since we got on, it just seems very like flag football, like just go get open and like I'll try and find you. Yeah. Before we dive even further, I want to give our shout outs for the worst week of fantasy like pick'em that I've ever seen ever. Our winner this week was Mike Spillane, Lil Doodles, with 6 correct picks.
Insane.
Followed closely behind by the OG Sourpuss taking over second place with 5 correct selections. I am in third place with 4 correct selections, and Craig Brooks successfully picked 2 games.
No.
2.
No. Only 2?
2 correct choices. So this may lead many of you. He tried. I think he genuinely tried. This may lead many of you to go, why the fuck do you guys talk about football? And I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Look, it's for the jokes.
It's to hang out. It's to just be pals. Anyway, that was terrible. Hopefully it'll be better this week. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I remember distinctly like late on Sunday looking at the pick'em for the week and being distraught that I had 4, I think at the time.
Yeah.
And I went to go see how everybody else was doing and saw that
Equally
I was
terrible.
one behind Spillane. And I was like, what the hell are we doing? We need to be better than this.
This week or last week, I should say, last week of games were insane. Okay, so just to run through it real quick, these are my picks. I got 4 right or something like that. Yeah, 4 right. So I picked the Jags over the Saints, which was the majority. I picked the Raiders over Chicago because I was like Raiders, but then Jimmy G was out, and I was like, I fucked that up a little bit. And Chicago curb stomped the Raiders because they have no rushing defense.
Yep.
I picked the Browns over Indy, but that barely happened.
Same. I'm with you. I'm 3 for 3.
Bills over Patriots felt like a slam dunk.
Yep.
And the Patriots ruined that. I picked the Commanders over the Giants, and that game was lost by the Commanders. I don't know that the Giants won it, even though I'm wearing my Giants hat this week. I do think the Commanders lost that game. The Giants did not win it. Bucks over the Falcons, which was a mistake, but also like Bijan didn't get the ball like the whole game, and I don't understand how the Bucks still lost, but whatever. Lions Baltimore, I picked the Lions. I was like, this feels
the first one where I've gone differently than you, and I went Baltimore.
I felt it in my heart that Lamar was going to struggle with this Lions defense, and I can tell you defiantly, he did not struggle. He didn't give a shit. He fucked them up. I went against my gut and I picked the Rams over the Steelers. I love the Steelers pick, man. I really do, because you guys are always in games. It's so crazy to me. You guys are always in games in the ability, like with an ability to win. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we get outplayed.
Yeah,
every single week, and not even like by a little bit. It's by a lot of bit.
Yeah, the Rams played like a really good game against you guys, but your defense is so good.
The defense is good, and the Steelers' luck is insane. Like we got a kicker fired.
Yeah, a kicker who went 4-4.
Yeah, well, he missed 3 kicks in that game.
Right. They weren't field goals though, were they? Weren't they?
There was 2 field goals and an extra point, so it was a full 7 points.
Field goals. Yeah, he made 4 field goals.
Yeah, because that's all they could do.
You did get a kicker fired. Arizona, Seattle. I went Seattle. That felt like an easy one. Packers, Broncos. I was like, for sure, got to be the Packers.
You got to be the Packers.
Broncos are a tire fire.
Yes.
Broncos fucking won. So what do I know? Nothing. Kansas City over Chargers. That was an easy pick.
Yep.
Miami over Philly. Miami looked terrible. And Philly looked so good on the defensive side. They didn't look super great offensively. Jalen Hurts has me a little concerned. He does not. Last year seems to be a bit of an aberration. I don't know if he's a top 5 guy. He's definitely a top 10 guy, but I don't know if he's a top 5 guy. With all those pieces around him, he still makes too many like, what the fuck are you doing, Jalen mistakes.
He also got banged up, didn't he?
I think so. I think
popped up on the injury report.
Yeah, I think he's dealing with a little knock. And then San Francisco over Minnesota felt like a slam dunk, and the 49ers without Debo and McCaffrey are the worst team in football. I don't understand how this happens. I don't understand what's going on. I don't get it.
I mean, McCaffrey scored like 2 touchdowns in that game.
But like, what happened to
I don't know
McCaffrey of like 3 weeks ago? That dude is not the same dude as the dude that played on Monday night.
San Francisco is ruining us.
They're an enigma.
I'm not to get too spoilery. I hate their game this week. I hate it.
I also hate it. Anyway, going through that and realizing we don't know dick about shit. I picked the Bills over the Bucks this week. That game is happening right now as we record. Looks like the Bucks are lining up for a field goal. Who are you taking, Mike?
I'm also taking Buffalo, but can I just throw in there one more way that I totally screwed the pooch last week?
Please.
For the team who I predicted would score the most points last week, I put Buffalo.
Okay.
Not even close.
No.
The team that I predicted would score the fewest points was Chicago.
Scored,
and they dropped 30.
More than Buffalo.
Yes. So, of course, I didn't have Cleveland as
who the fuck would, with PJ Walker in the second half of the game.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson is just like, I'm not playing if I get hurt. If there's anything
They're
wrong,
allowed to hit me?
yeah, I have not been hit in the NFL for 2 years. I have worked too hard
This
to
sucks.
not get hit.
I don't like this. Oh, there was some miscommunication on this field goal, apparently. The snapper's yelling at the kicker. I don't think that went in. The Bills
Oh
are
no.
very excited. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that kick did not go in. That looks real. Oh no, are they? Okay, so sorry guys, you're experiencing this with us. They let the clock run out
No.
on the play, and that backed them out of field goal range, so they just had to punt.
No.
Yeah, that's just what I just watched the punt happen. So Tampa Bay screwed themselves and got is not going into the half with points down a touchdown. So super good for our picks. Rams Dallas. I think Dallas takes this. Dallas coming off a bye. Rams losing to the Steelers last week. I just think that we're starting to really see who the Rams are, and that's just a kind of good, kind of bad football team.
Yeah. I'm also going to take Dallas, I think, on this. I don't trust the Rams to do much of anything. To go on the road against a good team, it's not going to happen.
Off a bye, too. Like, they've had 2 weeks of prep for you guys.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Green Bay. This is a divisional game, and we've said it on this podcast before. Divisional games are a crapshoot always, anytime, and always. Because of that, I'm going to go with the Packers here. I think they have a better defense than the Vikings, and I'm really hoping that Jordan Love awakens something in himself so that I can trade Christian Watson for literally anything.
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota on the road. I think Minnesota is a good team, but they've just played poorly at times. And I think they're starting to find their mojo a little bit. And I think Green Bay is a bad team in a year where there's a lot of bad teams.
So they don't look as bad.
What's that?
So they don't look as bad.
So, yeah, right. Like, when you watch them, you're like, this is not a good team. But then when you look at them as kind of like the whole, you're like, all right, bottom burner. They're not the worst, which just means they're going to get a crap draft pick.
Yeah, it means they're going to pick real low. Like, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they're still going to pick in like the late teens, early 20s. And that's going to be a bummer for them. Yeah. I just think Jair Alexander locks up Jordan Addison because he's a rook. So that just eliminates like most of the Vikings weapons if you take Jordan Addison away. So
it's true.
We'll see. I'm excited to see it. Atlanta, Tennessee. This is a game that I don't even know. I don't even know. I went Titans just because for whatever reason, when I go against the Titans, they win. So I'd at least rather pick them and not feel stupid. Their defense is so good. But until they move on from Ryan Tannehill, they don't have a prayer at any other.
He's not gonna. He's hurt, right? He's not even gonna play.
I thought he was. Is he not playing?
I thought.
Well, then I like this even more now.
I thought they were going to go between their rookie quarterback, who I can't remember his name, and Malik Willis. I thought they were going to
Will Levis.
Yeah, I thought they were going to kind of combo.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Hey, when I've watched the Steelers have 2 starting quarterbacks, and the saying is true: if you have 2 starting quarterbacks, I mean you don't have 1
starting quarterbacks. Titans needs to play Will Levis. He is the starter, apparently.
I had Tennessee at home because I hate Atlanta. I think they are a terrible football team, and yet they've got 2 wins 2 out of the last 3 weeks against teams that I think are actually okay.
Yeah, their run's
like
so bad.
Houston and Tampa. I mean, Houston's a powerhouse in the NFC or AFC, whatever the hell division they're in.
They are.
They're a powerhouse, clearly, because they destroyed the Steelers.
Obviously.
And then Tampa Bay is, I don't know, more talented than their record indicates, maybe they're exactly what their record indicates. They're you know what? They're exactly what their record indicates. They're an average football team with an average record. And I think average. Atlanta is below average. And yet they keep winning. So I had Tennessee at home. I can't do it. I got to go Atlanta.
I'm going to stay with Tennessee. I'm going to show me, Will Levis, what you can do. Derrick Henry can carry this football team for a quarter. Tajay Spears is doing stuff. So I'm going to take Tennessee. I'm excited to see what comes of this. New Orleans at Indy. I'm taking Indy. New Orleans offense with Derek Carr is broken.
Hold on a second. Did you watch what was their game last week? Was it the Thursday game?
I believe so.
Did you? There was a sequence that happened.
It was
that I thought maybe Pat gets a little bit more respect for Derek Carr.
No, zero.
No. There was a play where he threw to Olave on the sideline and Olave quit on the route.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr was pissed.
Yeah, he was very upset. I did.
I've never seen him act that way with another receiver. I thought maybe you would.
I think it's because they're trashing him a little bit. I think the media is kind of getting their claws in Derek Carr right now. Look, I maybe am a little hyperbolic in my distaste for Derek Carr. He is a perfectly fine quarterback. However, all we heard from Oakland/Vegas in the time that he was there was that he was so good and he deserved this money. And if he was with the defense and he had offensive pieces around him, he would win. And like, dude's got more offensive pieces in New Orleans than he ever had. When he was in Vegas last year, he had a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL in Devontae Adams, arguably the top receiver in the NFL with Devontae Adams last year. Like he had Darren Waller, he had an abundance of options. Josh Jacobs was the number 1 running back in football last year. Dude couldn't win. So maybe my bias comes from a place that I do not believe that he will win you games. He also won't lose you games consistently. However, that is not a good quarterback. Like, a good quarterback wins you games. Patrick Mahomes wins you games with doo-doo receivers, which is what he's currently doing.
Yes.
Derek Carr can't get it done with Chris Olave, Mike Thomas, the ghost of Jimmy Graham, Alvin Kamara. Like, dude's got pieces and he's still not able to win games.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I know Chris Olave is going to play, but do you think his arrest plays into this game at all?
I don't know how it couldn't. Like, he's not been on. From what I understood, he was still like incarcerated today. So I
thought he was released.
Maybe he was. Maybe I read an old tweet. But like, it has to affect your flow. And like with, he played Thursday, so like recovery shouldn't be a big deal, but like repetition and like these plays and like having a schedule for these guys is so important. I don't know how it couldn't throw him off a little bit.
Yeah. He was doing 70 and a 35 mile an hour speed limit. And then this article talks about
Saints.
Yeah. Do you know who I am? That's probably the worst part of it. And then Jordan Addison, I didn't know this, cited for driving 140 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, that was before the season started. I think he had like his dog was sick or something, and he was like, something happened where he was like going that speed. Still not good. You could have killed a human being, but like, I think he had some form of logic behind it. Chris Olave, I think, was just going fast.
Yeah. Well, he also dropped the "Do you know who I am?" bomb.
And he dropped the "Do you know who I am?" which is fucking stupid. That gives you, these cops are recording when they know who the fuck. Like, they ask for your license, they see Chris Olave, all the cameras go on because they are waiting for you to say something stupid. And you did.
Yep.
You gave it to them.
You gave it to him on the silver platter. I'm taking Indy at home on this one.
Yeah, give me Indy. Gardner Minshew looks good. I picked up Downs on the waiver wire. He looks good comparatively. He looks good compared to everyone not named CJ Stroud in this division.
That's a very low bar, but it is a true statement.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Hold on a second. Jacksonville's in that division.
Oh, okay. Well, Trevor hasn't even looked the best.
No, he made a very dumb comment about little yellow towels playing against Pittsburgh this week.
Oh, did he?
Nothing like locker room material, like making fun of the terrible towel.
Don't.
It's
never make fun of the terrible towel. Never make fun of it.
everybody who makes fun of it gets burned.
Yeah.
The ghost of Myron Cope comes up and haunts you in the game. Just don't do it.
TJ Watt is going to dance on your grave. He's going to actually dance on your grave. Yeah, the Colts have a fairly good defense. They have enough offensive pieces, and Gardner doesn't make enough boneheaded decisions that it's going to put them in a bad place, or at least he hasn't yet. I think he plays himself into a starting role. I think he's done well enough for Indy that people are going to look at him and bring him in for starting next year.
I think so.
You could argue the Patriots, you could argue Washington, you could argue Cleveland, Denver, Arizona, depending on what they do with Kyler. Like there's a bunch of like possibilities for him, and he hasn't shit the bed completely. So Minshew mania, baby. Patriots versus the Dolphins. Give me the Fins all day.
Yeah, I'm going to take Miami all day on this one too. But let me ask you a question.
Hit me. I'm ready.
They beat the Chargers, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Giants, and the Panthers. They've lost to the Bills and the Eagles, and they've lost handily to both those teams. They have not beaten a team that I would declare good. Maybe the Chargers. Maybe
the Chargers. The Chargers are good on talent. I don't know that they're coached well.
That is a fact. Do you think our Miami hype might be a bit out of control? Because it's not that they've lost to Buffalo and to Philadelphia. It's that they didn't look good.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking the same thing. Because they looked bad against Philly. They didn't look as explosive. And what I'm going to say is the Dolphins need to win this division if they have any hope of making it to the Super Bowl, because they're not going to win a game in Buffalo in January.
Nope.
You're not going to win a game in Buffalo in January. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win a game in Kansas City in January.
So you're saying not only do they have to win their division, that's just one home game guaranteed. They need to get
win the
home field.
AFC. Yeah. I think they need to win the AFC if they're going to be competitive. I don't know that we've overrated them. I think Tua leans too heavily on Tyreek. And it feels crazy to say because I know they have equal amounts rushing touchdowns as they do passing touchdowns. Mostert's leading the league with McCaffrey and rushing touchdowns. Like, I know all of these things. I think they lean too heavily on getting the ball to Tyreek so that he can eclipse this 2,000 yards mark, and they're not involving other pieces enough because, yeah, we'll let Tyreek beat us all day, but everyone else is going to be covered. But Tyreek only plays like 60% of the snaps.
Does he really?
It's not a high rate. I don't know if 60 is the number. I'm going to look for it now, but
yeah, that's I'm surprised. I mean, I get it. He's running an awful lot and running very quickly.
Yeah, he's a racehorse. 65%. I was very
That's
close.
Insane.
Yeah, he plays 65% of the snaps, which is like, I get it. He is a thoroughbred. He is very good when he is at his peak. So you want to keep him there as long as you can. He needs breaks, and you don't want that hamstring to pop.
Here's the scary thing. If I was a Dolphins fan, there's two things that I'm scared of. One, in-season hard knocks.
Oh, yeah, it's coming, baby.
Two, they end the season with a home game against Dallas, a road game against Baltimore, and a home game against Buffalo. If they still are struggling against good teams, that's a bad way to end the season with the 3-game stretch.
Yeah, I think they have a little bit of reprieve coming. Jalen Ramsey is very close. That's going to lock down one side of the field for them. I think that's going to be really good. Dude is still a top 5 corner, maybe a top 3 corner. And that'll be helpful. But they play the Patriots this week, and I expect a revenge game. I think they're going to come in and spank the Patriots a little bit. But who do they have next week? Because I'm excited to
They get
the
Kansas
Chiefs
City
in Kansas City.
No, actually, I think this is a Germany game because it's at
Oh,
9:30
is it
in
the
the morning.
German? Oh, I think it is.
So they either got lucky or screwed by that.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going. I'm going to watch that one very intently. I'm very interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
They beat the Chiefs in Germany at home, whatever. That'll be a very big barometer, but you also didn't beat them in Arrowhead. So
Yeah.
like I feel like the Dolphins are damned if they do, damned if they don't there. Like you lose to the Chiefs, you only beat bad teams, and this headline, and I don't think that that's true. I think they're a better team than they show, but like then the narrative starts that you only beat bad teams. You couldn't even beat the Chiefs in Germany. But if you beat them, it's like, yeah, you beat the Chiefs, but it's not at Arrowhead.
I mean, if they lose by 2 possessions to Kansas City, I think the narrative is valid. If they lose a close one to Kansas City, then okay. You know, a lot of people have lost close games, but it's not that they lost to Buffalo and Philly. It's that they got spanked by Buffalo and Philly.
Buffalo put their foot down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, all that to say, I am taking Miami. There's nothing interesting to say about this game. New England got lucky. They are not turning a corner. They are not improving as the season goes on. They got lucky and turned the corner or won one game. They're going to turn right back into a pumpkin, and Miami's going to win this game and probably win this game big.
Handedly, yeah. It feels like a statement game for them. Jets at Giants. I am picking the New York Football Giants only because Tyrod Taylor will still be the quarterback. Tyrod will be playing for the Giants, and fucking Zach Wilson went on a vacation with his girlfriend over the bye week, and New York sports radio is pissed at him. So give me the Giants because he did stay and study or something. I don't know. It was so stupid.
Players bullshit. I saw him at a college football game.
Every
players do this every year on every team.
100%. Everybody. Sports talk radio in New York is so pissed. They're like, he doesn't care. He's lost. He's a lost cause. It's like the last 2 weeks, this dude's looked pretty good. Like, okay, I guess, whatever. Oh, regardless, man. Give me the Giants. Their pass rush has started to come alive. That defense was stout last week, only allowing 7 points. I've said it the whole time. The defense is good. They're on the field too much. Saquon's back. He looks good. Give me the Giants over the Jets here. Taking the name of MetLife back. Suck a dick, Aaron Rodgers.
I think the Jets are going to win, and we are stuck with another week of, is Aaron Rodgers coming back in the regular season? Type of nonsense.
I think we talked about this already, but you agree that would be a terrible, even if he was cleared, that would be a terrible idea for him, right?
Here's the thing. If they are in a position to make the playoffs and he gets cleared to play, would you even, like, obviously the Jets would. They've put too much money into him, but like, wouldn't that jeopardize your playoff risk, your playoff chance?
It would. So the thing it does the thing that trumps it for me is that I know the blocking scheme is what got Aaron sacked in that sack where he popped his Achilles, and like I know I've read all the things, I watched the formation, I've seen the play, whatever. This offensive line is no better now than it was when the season started. If anything, it's worse because they've lost pieces on, like, Elijah Vera Tucker, their best player on the line, gone, done.
Ugh.
Do not put your star franchise 40-year-old quarterback behind this offensive line this year. If you have a chance for the playoffs, let Zach Wilson take this vehicle all the way there, see what happens, and move on next year when you can reinforce this offensive line. It is a travesty if you put Aaron Rodgers back there because he is just going to get hurt again.
If I were Aaron Rodgers, which I'm not, thankfully.
Thank God. I am vaccinated.
The only the only way I would see myself coming back during the regular season is if I'm coming back for the playoffs. The Jets have guaranteed a playoff berth, and week 17 is for just positioning. It's one of those type of games. And then I would come back the last regular season game to knock some of the rust off and get a little bit of experience going into the playoffs. Outside of that scenario, the only other way I'm coming back this year is if I'm like, this is my last year. I am not going through this again next year. So it's now or never.
Yeah. It seems foolish to me. It seems foolish to me. And this is like a test surgery, essentially. Like, they've done it to very few people. They don't know how the athlete is going to react. I know he's rehabbing like 5 hours a day, and he's walking without a cane and blah, blah, blah. I know all of these things. He's still 40 years old. Father Time wins every single battle, every single one. He has not been defeated one time. Tom Brady tried.
And he looks like a 40-year-old uncle.
He does look like that. He looks like Uncle Hansy. He does not. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
I'm sure he is very into health and wellness and all that stuff. Maybe not to the extent that Brady was, but still, into that much more than I am.
Yeah.
Going into my 40th birthday. That's for sure. He's not out there eating birthday cake all the time and munching on Halloween candy and, eating ice cream before jumping on to do a podcast. He's not doing those things.
Were you at my house? Did you watch me do all these things?
No, that's why I was late. But that being said, he doesn't look like the healthiest of football players in his 40s
than he ever has before.
Yes, I agree with that.
And that was concerning for me.
Bills touchdown.
We picked that one right.
It's turning into a little bit of a barn burner.
We're getting a little bit of a route. Yeah, when I saw him show up to Jets the press conference, I was like, my guy looks like he's lost 25 pounds, and he didn't have 25 pounds to lose. So
they forgot to cover Gabe Davis in the end zone. Not a good look. Bucks
That's
defense.
What he does, guys. He's like the end zone guy. He is the red zone piece.
He was so open in the back of the end zone, I thought he was just part of the grass.
I was like, oh, look at that ref dressed in the Bills colors. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think it's foolish, but the fuck do I know, man? Your money's guaranteed. It doesn't matter. So
yeah,
give me Giants. You're taking Jets. Jacksonville at Steelers. Taking the Steelers. I made a mistake last week. Will not make it again, especially now that I know Trevor dissed the terrible towel. Steelers all day. Steelers all day.
From your lips to God's ears, but I'm still taking Jacksonville.
I know. Every time. Every time.
Hey, it's working. Here are things that I know are true. I have done this for a long time, and this season it is working well. Pittsburgh's 4-2. One of those losses I picked them to win.
You did.
I did.
Won.
So, all right, right? Not only that, they are being outplayed in all four of those games that they won.
Yeah, handedly.
So there's more evidence to show that me picking against them is having an impact because they are deserving to lose these games, but they're not.
It's hard to argue with your logic here because it's
airtight, man.
I can't disprove it. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this game. I'm going to take the Steelers. You guys are sneaky. You hang around games, and you guys are like Rocky. You are the Rocky Balboa of football teams. You just
definitely bloody snot everywhere in the fourth quarter. Like, hey, me in, coach, let me in.
Somehow land the knockout punch. And whatever, man, whatever works for you. I think their offense just gets so tired that you guys are like, oh, okay, well, I guess we should do stuff now.
We've run so many plays. Let's try to throw the ball 30 yards downfield, guys. Let's do it.
Let's do it. TJ Watt's not on the field. It's because the quarterback is exhausted. His eyes are glazed over and he doesn't see that he's literally standing right there. Eagles, Commanders. Give me the Eagles. The Commanders gave them a really good game a couple weeks ago, but they're the fucking Eagles.
Yeah. The Eagles are not as good as they were last year, but they're still 6-1. They're still good. Washington's still not great. So I'll take Philadelphia on the road.
Just
And if I lose that, who cares?
Yeah, it's a good one. Houston at Carolina, battle of the number 1 and number 2 overall picks. I'm taking the Texans because Carolina's booty cheeks.
I thought Carolina had a win. I was wrong. They're 0-6.
They are. And they gave their first round pick for Bryce Young, which feels bad.
Feels real bad.
Feels bad because they could have had Caleb Williams this year. Feels bad.
All right, so here's the deal. I said to myself when I was picking these games, maybe you should take Carolina at home. And then my dumb brain said, nah, they have their win for the year. You just go with Houston. But now I know they don't have that win. They're 0-6. This would just be a donkey pick all the way.
It would be a donkey pick.
Now I got to look at Carolina's schedule to see what game are they actually like. Is this their chance to win a game? Houston, Indy, Chicago, Dallas, Tennessee, Tampa, New Orleans.
Some of those games are winnable. I don't get Chicago's a winnable game.
Chicago's winnable, but it's in Chicago.
That feels bad.
All right. The Colts at home, I would not say that's very winnable. I think the Colts are a significantly better football team.
Yeah.
They're at Chicago, so that's going to make it harder. They're home to Dallas.
That's not going to happen.
At Tennessee, at Tampa Bay, at New Orleans.
Those are all winnable. I think you could beat Tennessee. You could beat New Orleans. You could beat Minnesota with a very stout defensive performance. Minnesota.
So you're saying it's not winnable.
It's not
winnable. They're home to Atlanta. That could be one, but again, Atlanta just does stuff. Home to Green Bay, so it could be Christmas Eve before they get another winnable game. Oh, damn it! I'll take Carolina. Son of a biscuit.
Well, I mean, they did switch play callers. They did go away from Frank Reich. The head coach is giving up play calling duties, which to me says that man is going to be fired. But what do I know? I picked 4 fucking correct picks last week, so I'm an idiot.
Hey, you doubled Craig's total.
I think he was like the quarterback's coach or something, and then he came there to be an offensive assistant, and this is his first like offensive role, so they're going to let him call plays this week. So honestly, I don't hate the pick. I just think CJ Stroud is better at this point, and I think Bryce Young is afraid of everyone.
Yeah, that might be true.
Because he's hit all the time. All the time. Cleveland at Seattle. Give me Seattle. Just being in Seattle, I think, is going to be a problem for PJ Walker. And even though this Browns defense is something else, man, this Browns defense is gross.
Yeah, not only do I have to pick against the Steelers every week, I feel like I need to start picking, and I've been doing this the last couple of weeks, and unfortunately it has worked out well for my pick'em, to pick all of the AFC North teams besides Pittsburgh on a weekly basis. And, it jives because before the regular season started, I was saying that I think all the playoff teams for the AFC could come out of the AFC North.
You did say that.
And so far, I do not think that the good teams are in the AFC North, but the AFC North teams keep winning. So it just seems like every week they win. So I'm going to take Cleveland on the road here.
That defense is something else, man. It's
good.
It's so real good. It's so good. Kansas
Garrett, he's trash.
He's trash as a freak of nature that's really good at football.
Yeah. No, it's just Steelers fans get bitter because everyone talks about how he's so much better than TJ Watt.
He is definitely not that, but he is a freak of nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, there's the whole helmet into Mason Rudolph's brain.
No, I get that. That was not a great situation. But if Mason said the word that is supposedly
rumored
said, then I get the helmet to the face. But anyway, Myles Garrett is a freak of nature. I would not put him on TJ Watt's level, but I can admit as an unbiased party, like, dude is disgusting. TJ Watt is a Hall of Fame level player.
Ryan Clark said on ESPN this week that TJ Watt is having the type of career that would make him one of the best Steeler players of all time. And you talk about all those vaunted defensive players throughout the decades.
It's crazy to say that.
But I think it's 100% true. He might even be more like Mount Rushmore material than a Troy Polamalu. And I think Troy Polamalu is 100% on the Mount Rushmore of Steelers players. But I think if TJ Watt keeps his career going, he would be ahead of Polamalu on that. He just needs a Super Bowl or two.
I was going to say, he needs a ring. He needs a ring in order to solidify his place. He gets 2 while he's with the Steelers and effective, not those like, I got a ring. And it's like, you were the 3rd linebacker off the bench, my dude.
Yeah, he needs to be prime.
Active. Yeah. If he gets 2 while being active and being one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player in the NFL, I have a hard time keeping him off of maybe like NFL linebacker Mount Rushmore. Like, like everyone talks about how great Luke Kuechly was, and this is no disrespect to Luke Kuechly. Dude accomplished like 0 things in the team mentality, was an excellent linebacker. Cannot put him on the Mount Rushmore because he didn't win games, period. Like they went to 1 Super Bowl and they got dusted. Dusted. It was bad. So I'm in agreement with you there. And again, unbiased party. I give no fucks about Pittsburgh whatsoever. Hate the Penguins, actually. Like genuinely.
Whoa. Well, you're a Philly boy in hockey.
Yeah. So fuck the Penguins. But also, TJ Watt is gross.
You know one of my favorite Twitter accounts or X accounts to follow?
Which one?
Days since Flyers last cup.
Yeah. Keep talking about it. You guys are slowly fading into irrelevance, but it's okay.
I don't care. Okay. Sid the Kid is so old.
He's so old. He is gray in the temples now. And everybody's like, Sid the Kid. And it's like, Sid is a pop-up. He is a pop-up now.
Sid the pop-up. It is the same superstars that I've been watching since college.
Yeah, that's correct. And they keep giving him money, which honestly, like, and this is, again, I try to look at sports as unbiased as possible. Sid is one of the greatest players ever to play. It is a shame from an NHL, from like a hockey fan's perspective, that he missed so much time due to concussions, because he would be so much higher up in, like, you look at his average points per game based on anyone that was drafted around him, and he's crushing everyone. But he just missed a season and a half, sequentially, that hurt him in his GOAT status. But like, also get the fuck out of here, Sid. Just fucking leave, man.
Just go.
Yeah, I hate you. I do. I fucking hate you still. Anyway, sorry for the tangent, guys. Chiefs Broncos. This is an easy one. Give me the Chiefs all day, every day. The Broncos are getting ready to sell everything. If it's not glued down, they're going to sell it.
It would be so peak football for the Broncos to win this game, but there's just no way. There's just no way this could happen. It can't. It cannot happen. Come on.
Is Taylor Swift there? If Taylor's there,
the NFL.
If she's there, there's no way they lose this game.
It seems like she's at most games.
She's in a lot of games. She's a busy lady. She's racking up those airline miles.
Oh yeah.
Baltimore, Arizona. Baltimore. This doesn't even feel like it's a competition. I'm excited to see what Kyler has when he comes back. I think that'll make Arizona a little more competitive, but I think it's really just going to be an audition to see who wants him at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm still not convinced Baltimore is one of the top teams in the AFC, but they're playing good right now, and Arizona's not. So I'll take Baltimore on the road all day.
Yeah, Lamar showed up last week, and it made us feel kind of stupid because we just dumped on him. But I still feel that way. Like, Lamar is capable of having these amazing games, throwing the ball and running the ball. But when push comes to shove, he always goes back to, I'm going to run it. And then he does not good things.
Sorry, Buffalo's offense dropped what would have been a bomb down the sideline. They're it was Diggs too. They're moving the ball pretty good here. and it's still
They woke up.
it's a rout. This game's over.
That is unfortunate if you like the Buccaneers. But you got your Super Bowl 2 years ago, so shut up.
Yeah, shut up, guys.
Fucking shut up. Yeah, Baltimore. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens there. Back to the Kyler thing. I really think he's going to end up in Minnesota. I really feel it because they want to keep Justin Jefferson, and in order to keep Justin Jefferson, you need a guy that you can point to as the franchise guy. And I just think Minnesota is going to move heaven and earth. And who else is available that's going to be a franchise guy? There's really not anybody. Arizona is going to have a high pick. They could go quarterback. Their new regime can come in, pick their guy, build up the team around him, blah, 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 blah. All that rhetoric.
Do you think Minnesota's front office and staff and fans could handle going from a guy with the work ethic of Kirk Cousins to a Kyler Murray?
It depends on how Kyler handles it. And I say that because I think Kyler Murray has an excellent work ethic. I think it's just been soured in the media, and like them letting the video game clause come out was a mistake. That was bad.
Yeah, and that was the team
optically. Yeah, that was bad optically. I think they saw that like people were gonna get on, or thought that people were gonna get on their side with that, and it was just like, no, everyone is stupid in this. Everyone is dumb. So, but I think Kyler works hard. Like he's coming back. It hasn't been a full year, and he's coming back from an ACL. You have to work your ass off to do that, and they're not going to let him play unless he knows the offense. Like I know that Josh Dobbs out there is like not setting the world on fire, but he knows the offense and he's running it intelligently. So I don't think they're going to put Kyler. They're not going to put Kyler in a place to make them look worse.
Hard to do.
It's true. Bengals Niners is a Sunday afternoon.
Hate this game. I
am taking the Bengals.
Whoa.
Give me the Bengalis. I don't know. I think the Niners, to me, the last 2 weeks look like a punch drunk boxer. They look like a guy that's taken one too many Mike Tyson punches to the face, and like they're waiting for the bell. And the Bengals coming off a bye are not the bell. Burrow's had another week to heal up that calf. Everyone's a little, everyone that was dinged up, not dinged up anymore. I think we're going to see a good version of the Bengals against the Niners. And I think the Niners right now are grasping at straws. And Sam Darnold, the starter for the 49ers.
Yeah, because Brock Purdy is all of a sudden in the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it makes me think that he might have been playing with that for a little bit because he was making some very un-Brock Purdy-like decisions and throws. So it makes me think that maybe.
Yeah, they said the symptoms started on the plane ride home from Minnesota.
Bullshit.
Have they gone back and like, is there a questionable hit during the game that they can go back to and be like, maybe this one? Like, sometimes you can see a player bang their head off the turf or something.
That whiplash back.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one. I don't know that they've like narrowed it down, but he's been very un-Brock Purdy-like, and a concussion, as someone who's experienced multiple, that tracks. Your fine motor skills take a bit of a hit when your brain is just like, I need rest. So
this game, I mean, I'm excited to watch this game.
It's going to be a good game.
But I looked at this game and I saw San Francisco, Cincinnati. Well, I always take AFC North teams when they're not the Steelers. So let me take Cincinnati. Oh, wait. The 49ers are too good to lose 3 games in a row.
So good.
So as much as it pained me, I switched to San Francisco. Then I saw the Brock Purdy stuff about the concussion, and now I'm back on the Bengals to win this game. So I have Bengals going cross country to win this game, and I feel much better about it if Brock Purdy doesn't play. But Yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, this is the 4 o'clock games recently have felt bad. This is a good one. This is a good one, and I think Cleveland Seattle will be like an exciting one. But like Ravens, Cardinals, Chiefs, Broncos are just not going to be fun to watch. So I don't know.
I don't like how all the other AFC North opponents are playing at 4.
Yeah, yeah. It's
All of
what
them are on the
happens.
West Coast. Let's see if they have plane troubles on the way back.
Who could? No, that would never happen. Bears at Chargers. I'm gonna take the Chargers here. This
Yeah.
this coach is coaching for his life, and Chicago's defense isn't great, regardless of what they did against fucking Dude McDude guy in Vegas and other Dude McDude guy. This Bears defense isn't great. I would love to see more to DJ Moore. That would make me happy. But other than that, give me the Chargers here. I just think their quarterback is better. Their defense is better. That typically puts them in a chance to win.
Yeah, the Chargers, you said it earlier, they're a very talented team that's just poorly coached. I think Chicago is a not talented team that's poorly coached. So
I think a lot of people in Chicago would agree with you.
I will take the talent of the Chargers and them being at home. And I don't think Chicago's all that interested in winning the game. The players, maybe, but everybody else, yeah, there's not a lot of pressure coming from on high.
No. I think if there was pressure, they would
fold.
They would be trying to win games.
Yeah.
And they would have fired their coach.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't done that.
No, they have not.
So, yeah, I think the 2 wins is going to lure a lot of outsiders that aren't watching Bears games into a false sense of security and be like, no, Chicago, they're okay. And it's like, they're not. They're really not. So, I don't know. Chargers need a win, too. I'm pulling. I need Austin Eckler of old to come back this week because he's been shitting the bed. And I took you over Christian McCaffrey, so stop it.
That was
it was
not.
I know. I thought McCaffrey was going to be the one that got dinged up, and it turns out I'm a putz. So here we are.
I mean, the correct answer is why not both? I mean, they're both kind of injury prone at this point in their careers. It's kind of a miracle McCaffrey has been as productive and as healthy as he has been based on past years.
Great. I don't want injury. I don't wish injuries on anyone.
But no, he's great.
Eckler has been injured a lot and not looked like himself, and it makes me mad. So I just throw that out there.
Yeah, I feel you.
Vegas and Detroit. Give me the Lions.
Yeah, what was that? How bad did they get beat last week? It was real bad.
It was like 38-6.
I don't care about that game at all. I don't know.
It has affected me 0.
38-6, losing on the road to Baltimore. I feel like those games happen. It's just one of those, I think back to the Replacements movie, quicksand, playing in quicksand. I feel like that's just one of those games, and you just got to forget about it and get back out there. And what better team to rebound against than a home game against the Raiders?
The fucking Raiders. Josh McDumbface and the Raiders.
He's going to make a bad play call at the end of the game to help you out.
At least one. There might be 2.
There might be 2 because he might make a mistake too at the end of the first half.
It's true.
You might get lucky that way.
He's done that. He's done that in multiple games. Okay, so the reason I'm taking the Lions here is because I don't think that Dan Campbell is capable of letting last week not be motivation for this week. I feel like, and I have no idea if this is true or not, but I feel like personally, this week of practice for the Lions was probably the hardest week of practice that they've had since training camp. And like, they are going to come out with their hair on fire this weekend, or I should say next week, because it's a Monday night game. But I don't think Dan Campbell misses these opportunities to motivate and encourage growth in his players, and I definitely think that happened this week.
I think he did a lot of up downs with his players in practice all throughout the week. And there was either Dan Campbell's a big man. I like him. I've enjoyed him on Hard Knocks. I've enjoyed him at every step along the way that I've seen him as a coach. I'd say this with no disrespect. I think there were tears involved, or there will be tears involved. He's either going to get so emotional and hyped up to try to work up his team after that loss that there will be tears, or he's going to punish them through practice. And when they come out and win this game, that's when the tears come out. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. And the tears, the proud Papa tears come down.
And then everyone sees that and they fight harder for him next week. And so I'm going to do the Mike Spillane hot take here and say, and maybe it's not a hot take because I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but a loss like last week's is so much motivation for a coach like Dan Campbell that this is how teams go on runs. Yep. Like the Lions getting their asses beat by a good team. Like Baltimore's not like, you didn't go into, unfortunately, the Lions of like 7 years ago and lose to them. Like, no, you went into a guy that won an MVP award, has good pieces around him, a solid defense, and you got your ass kicked. There's no shame in that. But this is how teams get hot. A team gets hot, goes on a streak after a loss like that with good coaching. And I think Dan Campbell's a good coach. And the Lions are going to be dangerous from here on out. I really do. It looked like they finally figured out how to use Gibbs too.
If you had to pick a game on your schedule that you got blown out, you would have picked probably this game for the Lions. Because you look at their schedule, it's a out of conference game on the road against a good opponent. So it's not going to hurt you too much in any of the tiebreakers that matter. It's a team that you're not going to be really playing again until the Super Bowl, potentially. And it's early enough in the season, too, that you have the ability to get right, go into a bye week, and then start your run for the second half of the season through the all-important November, December. Yeah, I'm with you. I think this could be a spark for them. And they were a good team before it. They just were on the wrong end of a buzzsaw.
Yeah, Lamar just decided he was going to cook last week. And when he decides he's going to take a game over like that, which he has the ability to do, he just doesn't always do it. And whether that's motivation or ability or whatever, consistency, whatever the reason is, he decided last week, he was like, we're not losing. And they won in the first half.
And look, I don't think that it's that he learned how to cook again, because him cooking implies that they can repeat it. And I don't think that's possible. I think he got like a Grubhub gift card. And it was just like, I'm going to go all out on a good meal and get this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we will see. Not this week, because I think they have the Cardinals this week. So this doesn't really count. But
they're going to win 20-10.
Yeah, it's not going to be close. Be close. He will fumble the ball at least twice, though. He will fumble. He does that often.
Lost fumbles or just put it on the turf?
He's going to put it on the turf twice and lose it once.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nostradamus.
Yeah, I got you. No worries. But yeah, those are our picks for this week. Thank you guys for hanging out. We appreciate it. Like I said, this will be our only video this week. We are tired. So
old man tired.
Children, work. Your boy is applying for other jobs, and wife is pregnant. So shit is crazy right now. Shit is crazy. We have not cooked a meal in-house this week, and that is bothering me. So
it's all the Grubhub gift cards you got.
Yeah, all of them. Every single one. Because my wife can only eat specific things, and first trimester is hitting her very bad with the foodness.
Oh yeah.
So
what's the food of choice?
Often it is Cheerios. Regular ass
Cheerios, not even Honey Nut Cheerios?
No, can't do the sweet. She can't do it. Tonight was the night we got spicy. We had a little bit
spicy
of Indian
Cheerios.
Food. No, no, we had Indian food, but she came downstairs after I ran out and got Indian food for us, and she had eaten like a quarter of her bowl. So we got spicy, and I think it was a mistake.
That might have been a
So
mistake. Might have been a mistake.
might have been a mistake. But yeah, so we're having hard times over here in the Spear House, but we will get through them. This should be like a week more of this probably, and then we should be in the clear for any and all food. But we should be back to our normal posting schedule next week. Someone will be here with Mike and I, probably, maybe. If not, whatever. But yeah, thank you guys for following along. We do appreciate it. Do us a favor, like this video, comment on it, subscribe to the channel. We got a new subscriber last week, and I didn't see who it was, but thank you for checking us out. I do appreciate it. If you're listening on Spotify, follow this so that we get your download and all that stuff. But all in all, thank you guys very much for listening to us. We obviously know nothing about football.
Nothing.
I picked 4 fucking correct games last week. That was terrible.
I almost won with 5.
You did almost win with 5. 6 was the big number. 6 was the big number. So, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate you, and we will see you all back here next time.